Once upon a time, in a remote kingdom, there was an old king who had 3 princesses, Princess Amelia, Princess Catherine, and the youngest, Princess Charlotte. All of them had very different personalities. Relying on a rich husband, Princess Amelia was always snazzy and bought jewelry frequently. Princess Catherine spent all of her husband's family's money on food. There was no dish in the world that she had never tried. Princess Charlotte, on the other hand, had a different viewpoint. She not only doesn't rely on her family's wealth, but she was also very hardworking. One day, the king ordered all 3 princesses to come to him.
Hey, now that you're all 3 here today, I must tell you something.
Yes, we would like to hear.
Princess Charlotte is old enough to get married, and you'll marry the Chancellor's son, and you will live a wealthy and comfortable life, just like your sisters.
Dear father, I will not marry the Chancellor's son.
What?
The 2 sisters were startled and dropped their jaw in surprise, looking at Princess Charlotte.
You said what? Do you dare to say that again?
Dear father, I don't want to marry the Chancellor's son. I want to work to become rich on my own.
Well, leave this palace immediately if you don't want to be rich. Get out.
Please calm down, Your Majesty. She's just...
Calm down? What have you been teaching this girl? She's a princess and she wants to do servant work? Well, we'll see how well you do outside the palace with nothing, and you may not return until you're as rich as your sisters.
Yes, father. After being kicked out from the palace, Princess Charlotte was only given a blind horse. By the time she left the palace, no one saw her off, except the queen, her loving mother. Don't be sad. I will find a way to get rich and I'll come back for you. The queen was very sad as she held Princess Charlotte's hands. Now you follow me. When I become rich, I will cure your blindness. Princess Charlotte left the palace and sought a way to become rich from her empty hands. The horse was blind, but it still walked with stability. The princess kept going on and finally entered the forest. When it was getting dark, the horse stopped in front of a hut. The princess jumped down and entered the hut. Hello, ma'am. Who are you waiting for? I am here waiting for my son. He went to carry charcoal. How about you? Why did you come here all alone in the dark like this? Oh, I was just passing by. It is dark now. I'm looking for a place to stay tonight. Oh, really? If you don't mind my small house, then you can stay here for the night. That would be great. Thank you so much. Oh, my son has finally returned. While Princess Charlotte and the old woman were talking, Ruslan got back. 3 of them stood there talking for a while.
Hi. Hey, Mom. I got the charcoal. Boy, it's really heavy. I'll just hold it here.
Then he turned to look at the girl standing by.
Who's this?
Oh, she's our guest tonight. She was passing by, but it got dark. So she wants to stay for a night. After that, the old woman turned to introduce her son to Princess Charlotte. This is my son, Ruslan. All right, we should go inside to rest first and talk later.
I am Ruslan. And who are you? Why were you wandering all alone in the dark like this? The princess began to describe the reasons why she left the palace, as well as the purpose of her coming here. Oh.
She expressed her wish to be the old woman's daughter-in-law.
Oh.
Hearing that, the old woman clasped her hands in fear and tried to refuse. Princess, please forgive us for not recognizing you. My son can't marry such a noble person like you. I just want to live a peaceful life with my son here.
Oh, Ma, you're embarrassing me. She can just spend the night here in the house, and wherever you want to go tomorrow, I'll take you there.
The princess immediately stood up, held the old woman's hand, and pleaded with the woman and her son. I want to prove to my father that I can become rich on my own. Please help me, you two. I can do anything you want.
Well, okay.
There was no way to deny the beautiful and honest princess. The old lady accepted. The princess asked about all their work and daily activities. They spoke until midnight. The next morning, after cleaning the house, sweeping the yard,
Huh?
the princess had breakfast with her new family. I woke up early to clean our house. I also swept the yard and took the horse to graze.
Yeah?
I also made breakfast. You can go eat, then go burn the firewood, or you'll be late.
Oh, you're so hard-working.
Let's go and have breakfast now. Mother is waiting.
Yeah.
Now I've done all the housework. Can I go to burn firewood with you, please?
The path there is very rough. You ought to stay here with Mom.
Roslyn is right. Burning firewood is hard.
Mm-hmm.
You should stay with me, and we'll hoe the backyard together to grow corn in time. Yes, I'll listen to both of you. Shortly after seeing off her husband to go to the forest to burn firewood, Princess Charlotte and her mother-in-law went to the garden to hoe the land for new crops. She worked hard from morning to night. Oh, it's much faster to work together. Let's go, my daughter. You should go home first. It's still early, so I'll cut more grass for the horse to eat tonight. Every time after she and her mother-in-law hoed the land, she went to cut grass for the horse. Later that day, the princess told Ruslan that she wanted to sell charcoal to help him. Today, I've hoed the garden backyard with Mother to prepare for the new season. From tomorrow, please let me help you sell charcoal.
Why are you so eager? All right, dear. You'll help me sell charcoal in the market. Then I'll have more time to cut firewood and sell it.
Since then, every morning, after doing all the housework, the diligent princess started pushing the charcoal cart to the market to sell it. His wife helped him sell coal, so Ruslan had more time to go into the forest. Day by day, Princess Charlotte was getting used to the work, so all the charcoal was sold already before it came to the market. How did you sell them all so early? I have many regular customers now. I just need to take the charcoal out to sell. Besides, our charcoal is good. It's popular now. It's sold out fast. Good job, daughter. You should go take a shower and rest. Please go in first, Mom. I'll go to the garden to hoe more soil and plant potatoes for more food next season. Every time after coming back from the market, she hoed the garden to prepare for the new harvest. Suddenly one day, she hoed something hard. The princess was very surprised. She sat down to check and pulled the hard object up. It was a piece of gold the size of an egg. The princess shouted happily, "Oh, it's a golden egg!" The princess put the golden egg in the basket and returned home. Every day, Princess Charlotte worked very hard to cultivate the soil and plant vegetables. The next day was the same as the previous day. The princess found another piece of gold. She always put all of them in the basket and took them home. She got more and more eggs each day. Although being busy all day, the princess never forgot about the horse. Every day she cut grass and leaves for the horse to eat at night. Then she heard a sudden voice.
What a great horse.
The princess was very surprised.
To cure his blindness, go get the leaves and well water on the top of Fairy Mountain.
Is it for real?
Just go pick the leaves and get the water for 3 months. He will be cured.
Yes, thank you so much. The magician smiled, nodded, and walked away. Starting then, every afternoon, after the gardening was finished, Princess Charlotte quickly climbed to the top of Fairy Mountain to pick the leaves and get the water from the well for the horse. She persisted in this work for 3 months without any day off. As expected, by the end of the 3rd month, the horse was cured of blindness. Princess Charlotte was deeply moved. You can see me now, right, horse? Right? That evening, the princess asked Ruslan to let her go burn the firewood in the mountain with him. Our great horse is no longer blind. I'm also used to selling charcoal.
Yeah?
From tomorrow, I will have lots of free time. Please let me go burn firewood with you.
Well, the path is quite difficult. And you're a girl. Your arms are weak. How could you possibly climb there?
But I really want to help. I can do it no matter how hard it is. Please let me go to burn the firewood with you. Because the princess really wanted to go, Ruslan finally agreed to let her go with them to the mountain to burn the firewood. This diligent girl's very stubborn. If you don't let her, I'm sure that she will follow you. Just let her go with you one time. If she can't make it, she will just stay home next time.
I'm just afraid you'll work too hard, and I don't want to see you suffer.
I know you care for me, but I can handle it.
Well, if you want to come that much, you can come with me tomorrow, up to the mountain. But if you find it difficult, then you don't need to try so hard.
Yes, thank you, dear. Starting next day, Charlotte and her husband went to the mountain to burn firewood together. After a few confusing days, she began to learn how to cut down trees and branches. A little later, all the logs were piled up tightly around the charcoal kiln. Seeing the firewood pile getting bigger and bigger, Charlotte discussed with her husband plans to dig the second charcoal kiln. While digging, the princess saw the golden eggs in the hole. 1 golden egg, 2 golden eggs, and then the couple discovered a big gold mine. The couple were extremely happy. They secretly discussed with each other how to bring all the gold home. Starting that day, every afternoon, the couple carried a load of charcoal and let the horse carry 1 cart. In each load of the cart of charcoal, there were always 10 or 15 golden eggs. For 3 months, the couple tried to move all the gold in the cave home and bury it carefully. Then came the corn and sweet potato season. They got a very good harvest. Since then, they always had corn and potatoes in their house to eat and gold to spend on daily expenses. Realizing their gold was 10 times more than the king's amount of gold, the princess immediately asked her husband and mother-in-law to build a house. Since you came here, we've been getting richer and richer. You can do whatever you want.
Yes, dear. You're our family's lucky star. Mom and I will let you decide.
Thank you, Mom. Thanks, my dear. Then tomorrow, please go to the palace and measure it. We will build a big house just like that. Ruslan and the old woman smiled and nodded to agree with Princess Charlotte. Listening to his wife, early next morning, he went to the palace in order to measure the length, the width, and the height of the king's palace. However, the guards stopped him and didn't let him in.
I'm a charcoal seller, husband of Princess Charlotte, son-in-law of the king. As she ordered, I came here to measure the palace and build her one of the same size.
While arguing, Ruslan heard a loud scream. Ruslan was startled and looked towards the direction where the voices came from. The king, the queen, and the 2 princesses heard the news and immediately came to see who was making a fuss in the palace.
A charcoal seller that wants to build a palace? Ridiculous!
Who do you think you are, poor thing? Go burn your firewood and bring him here. Maybe we'll have pity on you and buy some. The 2 princesses turned to look at each other and burst into laughter. The king snorted with contempt, and the 2 princesses glanced past Ruslan and then turned around and walked away. There was only the queen left, who was still standing there, who sadly told Ruslan, "You'd better go home. Please help me take care of the princess." After saying that, the queen sighed and turned around. Being criticized, Ruslan was extremely sad and angry. Arriving home, Ruslan told Charlotte the whole story in the palace. The princess immediately comforted him. "Well, don't be sad, dear. I'll let father and sisters know later. Now please try to be more patient."
Okay, dear. Good advice.
Day after day, a huge building, which was even larger than the king's palace, was built to replace the hut. The building was completed only after 2 months. When they moved to their new house, Charlotte asked her husband to go and invite the king and queen to come and visit them. But the king sarcastically told Ruslan to send 2 golden carriages to the palace to pick up the king and queen. Charlotte immediately ordered the casters to make 2 golden carriages and bring 3 horses to pull them. The king and 2 princesses were very surprised, but since they had accepted the invitation already, they decided to go to Charlotte's house. The carriages carried the king, the queen, and 2 princesses to Princess Charlotte's castle and stopped in front of the castle. All of them marveled at the huge castle. Everything was carved carefully with the gold and silver. They were surprised to see the house. Princess Charlotte came to greet the king with her horse. The horse was very strong, raising his head to welcome the king. The king realized that it was the blind horse that he had given her, so he was deeply moved. The whole family had a big party in the front yard. "You've been working hard. I'm very happy to see you're living a good life. How about you come live with me, please, Mom? The Queen was very surprised at Princess Charlotte's suggestion. She thought about the time when her daughter had to struggle with a hard life, so she agreed with the offer. Knowing her two sisters do not work at all and their money's running out, Princess Charlotte gave each sister a chest of gold. In the end, the king and the two older princesses returned to the palace, and the Queen lived with Princess Charlotte's family.